Beautiful friends. It's me, Dr. Missy Hillock, here with your Sovereign Sunday energetic message for the week of January 10th, 2026. My intention behind these messages, as I pull from some oracle cards and really lean in intuitively to spirit, is to help set you on your course for the week. Just help you get your mind right, get your energy right, get your heart right, get focused on things that are coming up that may be some important moments that come up through the week. And this is just how to be ready to receive the information, the experience, to be mindful and present with what's happening and to guide you along the way. So let's see what came forward this week. I first drew from the deck Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. I really love all of her books and offerings related to just understanding our team of light. That's our spirit team, right? That's everything from our angels, our guides, our ancestors, animals, galactic family members, all these aspects of spirit all over the universe that are helping us along the way. And so in pulling from this deck, these cards, they always say like who's stepping forward. So we have some divine helpers that are stepping forward. And the card that came out is denial, card number 22. This deck is cool because it's got messages that are really positive, and then it's got messages that really show us something that really needs to be looked at, something that needs to be uncovered. And so the denial card, I think is cool. What it's really asking for here in this message, I see some symbolism of some like a couple, so people in a relationship taking off a mask, the blindfold, kind of seeing. It's really about getting clear of what is true, what's true for you, what's the truth of a situation. And it's specifically speaking to relationships. So notice this week what's coming up in relation to some of your most intimate connected relationships. This doesn't have to be necessarily with a romantic partner, although it could. This may be with a very close friend. It might be with a close family member. Maybe it's with someone that you're in a business relationship with where you work really closely. Notice those like inner circle dynamics and notice what's calling for some shift of perspective, something that maybe you've been avoiding, something you've been overlooking, something you've truly been in denial about. Maybe it's something as simple as maybe the way you're speaking to each other, the way you're misinterpreting one another, not listening, not working together as a team, all the way to the other end of the spectrum of maybe it's calling for some separation, some time apart, a severing to a relationship completely that you've been in denial about. You've been kind of pulling the wool over your own eyes. This is calling you to really take a look at that, shine a light on that relationship, take off the blindfold, and get honest about what's happening. The second card I pulled is from the Guardian Angel Tarot by Radley Valentine. And I don't use a lot of tarot. I prefer oracle cards because I like the simplicity and more the scope of the messages. But this is actually a tarot deck I really enjoy. And I pulled the Four of Air card. And the message here says meditation, recuperation, and contemplation. And you can see with the image of this young boy, he's kind of like basking in the sun, taking it easy, having a little nap on a blanket out in nature. But the symbolism that really comes forward here for me of meaning is notice those swords, notice the four swords around him that are surrounding him, and then notice his awesome little hippie peace sign t-shirt. With that peace sign right over the heart. Okay. So what this shows me is in relation to the message of meditation and recuperation and contemplation is first, put down your swords. Okay. I love this in relation to the first card we drew regarding relationships, where there's been some drama, where there's been a battle, where there's been some tension, where you've put up some walls. This is a call to soften. Lay down your weapons, stop the discourse and the drama, and really focus on peace, starting within, right? Going inside, going into reflection and meditation within the self, being honest about how this is really impacting you, what is calling to be changed, what's really out of alignment energetically with you in this situation, maybe specifically in this particular relationship, and allow peace to be the theme. Peace for you first. What works for me here? what's being called for me to do, for me to process, for me to end, and know that peace for you is peace for that other person, right? If a relationship isn't working for you, I can guarantee you it's not working for the other person. So this is a call to address what's coming up in your life right now, and particularly this week, with the opposite of fight, right? The opposite of tension and butting heads, and is to take time, step away from the dynamic, the relationship, go inward, take the time to really focus on within you what is going to bring you peace to this situation. And the last deck that I chose is, I wanted something healing for this energy. So I chose the Healing Spirits Oracle by Gordon Smith. This isn't a deck, it's fairly new to me, and I really love it. Every time I draw from it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is right on. So the card that I pulled is card number 34, Don't Fear Change, Embrace It and Grow. And, in relation to the messages that have already come forward, I think it's really important to remind ourselves that change is usually something most of us experience with a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of hesitation, because most of us like things the way they are, because it requires less energy to be expended to keep things how they are than to do something new. That requires us to shift our energy, shift our focus, exert more energy to create change. So sometimes we stay stuck in a dynamic, in a relationship, in a situation that isn't serving us, simply because it feels easier to deal with what we know and what's already status quo than to go into the unknown and to exert energy to go into the unknown. So it feels easier to just lay back. And this is a call to not do that. This is a call to embrace change. Let it grow you, let it fuel you. And one of the things I really love as just a piece of wisdom is, if we as the human that really doesn't like change by nature, that wants it to be the same and predictable and routine, if we could make the one thing that we can rely on and trust and lean into, is that change is always happening. The only thing that we can predict is that things will change. That is such a freeing realization and truth to bring in, because it allows us to approach change with ease, with a natural process, with the expected, that nothing is ever the same, nothing static, nothing stagnant, nothing goes unchanged, not our bodies, not our minds, not our environment around us, literally nothing. Our technology, nothing stays the same. It's always changing. And in fact, even if you think way back to Darwin and you think about evolution and what he was trying to explain about species that continued to stay on this planet, and species that got stronger and that continued to reproduce and grow in their population, is the ones that could change, the ones that could evolve, adapt, were the ones that survived and were the ones that were thriving, right? Not the ones who were resistant to change. So with this message of really going inward, looking at relationships, starting to see where you've been having those blinders on, where there are some things that really are requiring change if you want to step into lighter energy, new experiences, more fun, more freedom, all those things, is to allow yourself to lean into that there's going to be some change required here, and embrace it and grow, right? So I hope this message serves you this week, and I hope you'll return for more messages each Sunday. If you would like to subscribe to my email list, where you'll get reminders about the weekly email, as well as a longer message related to what I'm sharing here, the link for subscribing to that is here below in the description. Hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.